Hi, Ivy. That's loud, isn't it, Breeze? It's loud and annoying, huh? Mama, what you doing, cutie? What you doing, Moo? Hi, Ronsois. How are you? You're from South Korea? Is it morning or evening there? It's 5:30 in the afternoon? Oh, it's AM. Okay. Gotcha. I had to put my glasses on to read it. How are you doing today? Those are goats, baby goats. Hello, Uncle Bob. She's getting big. I think you're doing just fine, Ramswamy. Ramza. Oh, I'm doing good, Uncle Bob. How are you? I was hoping you would come. I'm going to show you some things I do to prevent deer in my garden. And I got all my new Wi Fi and stuff hooked up. So Maybe I'll have better luck about being out here. Speak slowly so you can understand better. Okay. Uncle Bob, these are the Amberlink chicks. They look good. I do think that little creamy colored one, I'm pretty sure that's a rooster. Holds its wings way different. Its legs are thicker. So I do think I think it's a little roo. Say, look at that tail. No, my rooster's got lots of ladies. She looks good, doesn't she? Get them horns coming. Hi, sweetie. Don't run away. I'll get down on your level a little. You're very pretty. Yeah, look at them. Right where those little black dots are. That's so cute. Hi, sweetie. Yes, ma'am. You're very pretty. You look very well. That she is. When I get back from Colorado, I'm going to wean her. She's going to go to Stephanie's for a while. That's going to be hard on me. Because I know she'll get beat up over there. And this marking right here, it's a heart. Okay, I'm going to show you what I do to keep the deer out. And it's hard to prevent deer. It just is. But what I have done has been successful so far. I have never had them in here. I just elevated it with chicken wire. And it worked better. At first I had wood. I just attached some wood to the pallets. That didn't work so good. Things were coming over it. So when I put these are for snow fencing. These things, it holds that wire straighter where it doesn't, like the snow doesn't compact it down and stuff. So that's what I've done. But I honestly think the biggest deterrent I have, everything's got marigolds in the pot. And then they don't like geraniums. They won't eat geraniums. I line the fence with geraniums. They stayed out for 4 years. Oh, something must have smelled good. But see, I put the stinky stuff that they don't like on the fence. And then, you know, if they come up, they just, I guess, figure that there's nothing good in here. But now that they've found it, they're not going to stop, I don't think. The watermelons are doing pretty good. I've got little melons going. See? They're trying. I mean, it almost, I feel like this is going to be successful. There's my potatoes. It's really hot. Really, really hot. I need to water, but I can't water till later. But I've got tomatoes. And look at those. You scare them and then go to bed. Can you leave like a radio playing out there? And you don't want to play music, like talk radio. I know people also do that for predators, but I guess the deer at this point are a predator, aren't they? Squash. And I have been able to get some ground cherries. There's some ready in there. Let me take my shoes off. Need to call Leo because they're all right in the middle. You wait for them to get kind of brown. It looks like that. Huh? You were listening to live and they jumped in? Stinkers. There's another girl I know that the pallet, she's elevated hers with that plastic snow fencing too. Man, I don't know how to help you. I think they're like goats. You just have to build a fortress. But I'm surprised to see you out here. Just leave you alone? Okay, I get it. Right in the sun, too. I know you'll figure it out, and it is annoying. I have people that come into the greenhouse and they're just infuriated because the deer will just demolish their whole garden. And if they're not eating it, they're trampling it. Are you guys doing all right over there on that side of the country? What, you saw me and now you don't know what to do? The zucchini and the pumpkins, they're waiting for the pumpkins for later. I'm really shocked that they haven't gone after that. They love pumpkin. I wonder how old the ducklings will be before I figure out who's a drake and who's a hen. Ate all the tops off your tomatoes. I'm surprised they went after your nightshade plants. I really am, because it I know to goats, chickens, dogs, rabbits, all that nightshade is poisonous to them. Peppers, your cold crops right to the ground. Hi, Irish man. Man. That makes you want to have a really big freezer. Oh, it's okay, honey. You're all right. How are you, Irish man? Did they touch your potatoes? Hi, chick. How you doing, girl? Boy, it's much cooler on this side of the yard. I'm doing really good. It's hot and sticky. It's a good day to be down at the river. But I thought I would stay home and make sure every critter had fresh water and stuff on a regular basis. They topped your potatoes. I hope whoever did that got a good gut ache and maybe they could tell the other ones. Man, that's really surprising. They didn't eat the stuff that, like here, they would have normally eaten, devoured the zucchini and the pumpkins. Hi, Peggy. I know it's hot, honey. I know. Hi, Jamar. How are you? When I went down by my local boat landing, there were so many people down there. That's why I haven't gone down there. I got to go to Stephanie's later today, and they live by the river. I'll walk their little path and go down there. You're in Australia? I'm in the States. So let me see. It would be Really late at night for you guys in Australia? Or very early morning, right? There you go. I know it's hot, Esther. I know, Val, but you don't know what to do with yourself. So it's early morning. Have you had your coffee or your breakfast? I even came out here earlier and sprayed down all the mulch and stuff over there for them. I feel bad for everybody. Actually, I think the worst are my bunnies. And Uncle Bob, I have a question about that. My buck, he needs a shade cloth. If I were to use a tarp, is that going to retain more heat in that pen? I thought about, just using a tarp to give him more shade. Then I questioned myself because I was worried that maybe it would retain heat in there. I have a question for everybody. Do you guys think it's easier for the animals to withstand the cold or the heat? I guess I should be more specific. Are chickens, are birds? Because I know that my rabbits do not tolerate the heat, but they're just fine in the cold. Cold. Yeah, I think they do better. I feel so bad for my birds. Okay, you have tarps for chickens, but it's open on all sides, so it seems fine. I'll go over there and I'll show you. Let me do this for a couple minutes. Because it's all palleted, just like this on all sides. That's why I was concerned about it holding heat. Last year during the summer, I had a really hard time. All my litters died. My adults were fine, but my kits were not. Esther, do you want me to cool you off? You can walk through it if you want, honey. Once I do this, they'll all come back over here. This works good. I buy lots of stuff on Temu. It's where I get all my crazy signs and stuff. It's where I got my goat barn. It's where I've bought all my fencing from. And I've never had an issue of it not being what I ordered. I ordered a garden trellis. I put it up the other day. It was $6 and it's good and sturdy. I'll look on Temu. But then I get on there and I start buying metal signs. I've bought everything for the goats. All their feed bags, their grain and pellets, their grain and their minerals and their baking soda, all of those buckets and stuff I've bought off of Temu. I didn't buy it, but Brenda bought that metal coop off of Temu. Really pay attention to your dimensions and stuff on there. Because when Will talked me into buying my barn there. And what he told me, he said, Mila, for the price that they want, even if the aluminum frame is too chintzy, you're going to save money on the corrugated metal. Because I only paid I think it was $218 for my barn. And it was free shipping. That's one thing that I do like, is that they have the local distribution centers. I've ordered things and not realized it, and it's come from overseas, and it takes a long time. But once I learned to pay attention at the local warehouses, you don't have to pay for shipping. And the only thing I bought on there for the goats that I wasn't happy about were these. When I bought these, they were listed as rubber. They're not, they're plastic. This is the rubber bowls. Yeah, I've never had any true issue with anything I've bought on Temu. As a matter of fact, when I get back from Colorado, I am going to order a carport. And it's the one I want has the big heavy tarps on it. I want that so I can put my hay and all my feed in there. I had to clear this. This is where I had all the hay for the goats. And I like that being open so much more. I can see my goats better. And I didn't have any trouble during the winter, but this spring when it started raining, my hay was getting wet. So I want to buy one of those carports and put it over on this side of the yard and take all of my feed that's inside the house and in the garage and put it out there. Give it a try. I mean, I don't think my barn's any different than the one I've seen at the hardware stores. And yes, I had trouble with the doors last year, but that wasn't Temu's fault. Let's see. Here's the garden arch I ordered. And it's good and sturdy. I was looking at those yesterday again because I'd like to order a couple more for my beans and my peas. They're not going to hold anything heavy, but they'll hold morning glories and peas and beans. And I got this done, Uncle Bob. And I'm going to say this was not easy. This project was hard. It was really hard to do this. I borrowed Joe's drill. At first, I had Stephanie and Luke's, and I had issues. And I took it back to Luke, and I was telling him what I was doing. And he looked at me and he said, I would really prefer you not to use my brand new drill for that. He goes, it's going to burn it up. And I got frustrated. Then I asked Joe to borrow his. And Joe is a sweet man, but he can be overprotective. And he kept telling me, Mila, don't let this drill kick back on you. It'll hurt you. And the first time I was like, okay, I'll get it. I'll be careful. Well, after like the 15th time, I was thinking, okay, Joe, I got it. And in my mind, I was like, I got it, Joe, no problem. Joe meant what he was talking about. When that drill kicked back, it kicked back hard. That was not fun. And I told Joe, I said, I thought you were being, oh, I need to pay attention. People are there. But no, that stupid drill kicked back really, really hard. I'm super glad I got that project done and behind me. I didn't think it was going to be that difficult. All right, now let me see who's here. Hi, Julie. It's good to have you here. I'm glad you're here. I know you'll be in and out. You're always busy, just like the rest of us. Moo Moo's dancing around. Thank you, Chick. It did pay off. I think it looks great, too. All of that was free. A lady had it listed on Marketplace. It was really far away, but I was going that way to check out greenhouses. Your drill will kick back like that? Boy. That thing, he meant it. You want in, Trixie? Are you too hot? Now, do you want to go in, honey, or do you want to sit with me? If I decide you're going to be out here, you can go off duty, but I get it's hot. Free is the best. I got that dog kennel and stuff, Chick, for free. That lady really gave me a lot of stuff. I got a big dog house, that dog kennel, that garden fencing, and that neat little windmill thing. She was young, and they'd bought a country house, and you could tell they were city people, and she just wanted that stuff gone. She didn't like the way it looked. I was like, oh, I'll take it off your hands. She was really surprised at how happy I was about that dog kennel. I was loading things in the car. Brenda was talking to her about the kennel. And Brenda asked me, you want that dog kennel? I told her I'd give her money for it. And she's like, oh, we were just going to load it up and throw it away. You can have it. I was like, definitely. I'll be back to get it. It's fun to hunt for free things. Even if I have to drive for stuff, I'll go do it. I'm always grateful that it's not going back into the landfill. People throw away so many good things. My greenhouse, it was going to go to the dump too. I have a lot of things here, either yard sales or on the side of the road and stuff. We have all the city people that own all the lake houses and river houses. They come up for a couple weeks. But the ladies will redo their house every couple of years, and they just set it all out on the curb. Um, it depends on what you're talking about. I'll hoard every little piece of wood, every pallet, post, fencing. That stuff I hoard. On the inside of the house, over the last few years, I've been getting rid of a lot of stuff. All those dust collectors that I've had all the years. I'm tired of all cleaning all that stuff. She's really getting big. Good evening, Mola Boba. Hello. The goat barn was delivered by UPS. Yep. The fencing was delivered UPS. The thing I've always been the happiest about, because I couldn't find it here. You can tell there's a huge difference in, well, it's hard to see out here. Said it is 4:07 in the afternoon. Yep, I'm back. Can you tell me what you said on your last one? I walked too far in the yard. So I don't know if you were able to hear my description of all of that fencing. Hi, sweet Ivy. What I was saying, and I'll say it again. I hope I'm not repeating myself so you guys go, ah. The 5-foot fencing that I got from Farm and Fleet, I paid like $180 for a roll, and it was 5 feet by 100 feet. Okay. So this stuff is what I bought at the local farm store. And the gate on it is much thicker. I mean, it's, the goats can rub against it and stuff, and it's not gonna bend and, well, it's gonna bend and flex, but not wear down as quick. This is that 6-foot tall that I got. It would work great to line rabbit pens with. And let's see, it was 6 feet by 100 feet. And I paid like $30, $40 a roll for it. I don't think I would use, without the pallets for my goats. I think it's just too flimsy for that. But I don't believe it's gonna collapse or cause any issues with it lying pallets for the goats. But I think I'm gonna buy a couple rolls of that to work on my rabbit pens with. I use chicken wire and I don't have any issues. I don't have any issues with the chicken wire that I've used, except in the spot where Crimson has sprayed so much. I even bought little rabbit hutches off of Temu. And then when I got them, they're not big enough for my rabbits. That they were not big, and that was one of the first things I bought. So I got kind of disappointed. But not everybody has the size rabbits I do, so it was more on me. That made me look at dimensions. I'm not sure of the name of the fencing, but it's livestock fencing, and the top of it they paint it red. They sell that on Temu too. Julie, she has some really nice lights, grow lights that she got off of Temu. Am I right, Julie, if you're listening? You got all those off of Temu, right? Are you talking about the metal boxes that they have for nesting boxes? I've seen those and I've thought about it. But I have two old rabbit hutches that are in my greenhouse that I think I could make a pretty nice nesting box out of that. Brenda has had those metal ones, and they were just fine. I use egg crates, and I'd say that's about the size they were. Oh, Hattie, you're hot, aren't you, honey? I hate to see them like that. There. I turned on my data. Yeah, I learned when I bought that rabbit hutch, like I said, to really watch the dimensions on things, and I haven't had any issues with stuff I've bought. I know a lot of people complain and they'll say it's all from China, but everything we buy is from China. It's hard to find American made stuff. I found, I told you earlier, I found a couple things. I'm going to order that carport, and then my goat barn. I just hooked up my new router and my new modem in the house. But I have the houses sealed up right now because I have the air conditioning on. So I went ahead and turned on my data because my new phone plan, I have unlimited data. So if I'm just careful and use the data when I have lives, I think it'll help out a lot. Yeah, I've had to turn on the air. It's just too hot. I can't stand dogs like that. Go, Moo Moo, go. She's really getting big. I'm gonna miss her when she goes to Steph's. I think I have good cell service. I didn't realize that, the Wi Fi is more of an issue when I try to do lives. But it was actually cheaper for me. I heard it too, girls. The goats just went on alert. I heard a gun. But it was cheaper for me to get the unlimited data plan. I pay for my mother's phone too. And I have her phone on an unlimited data plan because she doesn't, as she puts it, have Wi-Fi in her home. She's so cute. And then I ran my phone. I would purchase 1 gigabyte. So like if I traveled, I could turn on data and use my maps. But I ran my phone off of Wi-Fi at the house. And when I had to purchase a new phone, I just upgraded things. I upgraded my Wi-Fi and I upgraded my phone. And I ended up it actually costing me $8 less a month. So $8 is $8. Hi, Stella. Um, it's been a while. You've been kind of hiding. Off of Temu for tools that I have ordered. I ordered an apparatus that tightens up metal zip ties, a thing that does O-rings, um, my little chainsaw. So I've ordered quite a bit off of there. Maybelline, I know you would not tolerate that from Nala. Julie, are you there? If you are, I will message you now because I have all of that stuff downloaded. But I wanted to make sure that, unless I like being bothered. I wonder what they're shooting at back there. Go, Moo Moo, go, girl. I think it's working. Hi, Bob and Bobette. What's everybody gonna do for dinner? I had a friend, her kid graduated high school this year, and she brought me a box full of leftovers. I thought that was really nice of her. Steak and corn on the cob. That sounds good. You gonna grill it or you cooking inside? And is it a fresh venison steak? Gonna grill. It's too hot to cook inside. Beef. Some of those guys can go on the grill pretty soon. Look at how big they are already. I have no idea what if I've got drakes or hens. I know that the first one that hatched that's over there with the mama, that one's definitely a hen because Bob's been bothering it. And I had to watch it to make sure that he wasn't trying to kill a young drake. The ducks can, in my opinion, can be pretty brutal. I hope that one's a hen. I think it's really pretty. I do. I think you're awful pretty. Hi. Boy, some of you got really good sheens on you. Guessing you're going to be a drake. You're just too pretty to be a hen. Hi. language is so neat. Telling each other who's there and where to go, huh? I've decided on turkeys, definitely. And I think I will get them this fall when I get back from Colorado. I thought maybe I should wait till next year to add them, but I think I'm going to go ahead and get them this fall. If they're available, I could not, I may not be able to find them. There's a hatchery that I found that in late August, they'll ship some out, but I also found 3 people that are within at least 2 hours away from me that have pullets. But they could sell out, and they're all heritage breeds, the 3 people that I found. So I'm hoping that I can add them this fall. And also, I may have broody hens that I can just slip some babies up under. Hi, Dot. You okay? Hi, Comet. He gobbled this morning. I'm undecided on what breed I want, but there's 3 that I would just go with if they were available. The blue slate, the red bourbons, or the royal palms. But I really like the royal palms. I hope I could get a breeding trio of those. I think my second pick would be the bourbons. Those are really pretty birds. It was a shock gobble, but he still did it. I'm going to a swap meet, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And they'll probably have turkey and stuff there, but with going on vacation, I can't leave things like that for Will. I'm actually going to try to get Stephanie's little chicks over to her. And I'd like to process some of these ducks before I go, just to kind of cut back on the amount of things that need to be done or watched over. Stephanie's going on vacation next weekend. I'm going to watch her place. You want me to do videos, or do you want me to do a live over there? I was going to ask about that. I want to show off that solar dehydrator and how they garden and some of the wild food that they have in their garden on purpose that most people get rid of. She made me a drink the other day out of pineapple weed. I don't know if you would have that there, but pineapple weed is just a weed that grows in everybody's yard, and it's a shorter plant and it sprawls out, but it gets little tiny yellow flowers on it, and when you pick it, it smells like pineapple. She brought me a drink the other day made out of that. It tasted like pineapple soda pop, and it was ice cold. It was so good and refreshing, very refreshing. I want to learn how to make things like that. She does have a what she calls a bubbler maker. It makes like carbonated water that she makes those drinks with. I know you watch everything. Her place is spectacular. In I think it's September they'll go again, and they're actually going, they go every year. It's a big foraging thing. People from all over the world go to it. And they have classes and they have things specifically for the kids. And then they have classes for everyone. And they have a big cooking contest. And Stephanie won it not last year, but the year before. I was really happy for her to have won that. She was so excited. It was for a dessert. She made cookies, and she made the chocolate. She made and you have to. Everything has to come from the wild. You can't even use like real butter. You have to make your own butter and stuff for it. But I wish she'd make some. They're cherry white chocolate chip cookies. But she made the flour from choke cherries. The flavoring in the flour was from choke cherries. They were really good. And that's something that Samuel Thayer puts on. I'd actually like to go. I'd really like to go to that. I think the knowledge, you'd have a lot of fun and you would learn a lot. But when they go, I watch their place for them, and I don't want to deny them that at all. They do a lot for me and help me out a lot. And that's something that they really look forward to. I hear you guys. Hello, babies. It's hot. I'm so sorry. I wished I could fix that for you. The sun will go down soon and it'll cool off. It's been so hot. I don't like shutting the coops. I probably need to order some solar fans off Temu. That coop got in there. And the air just gets stale, just stagnant. Do you lock your coops at night when it's hot like this? I'm scared to leave them open. I'm afraid of the fox. I don't have hardware cloth on the windows. I have chicken wire on the windows, and all the windows are open in there. But it's just an old metal camper. I will say not all of the windows are open, because when Brenda gave me that, her husband had taken insulation, and some of the windows I would have had to take down all the insulation and cut it. It's just too windows, one on each side of the camper, and I left that up. The rest of them, I took all that insulation off. I don't know why they covered up all the windows, but they did. No, it doesn't have a top vent. They put a rubber roof on it. That's why I thought maybe some solar fans would help. No, they rubber roofed it. Good job, Mama. Good job. And I have a question. I want to order the motion lights. But here's my question. I don't think I should put those in the front. I don't think I should put them in the front because that's the highway. How many cars driving by are going to activate? Patty, how did you get in the house? Damn chicken in the house. Anyway, I think cars will activate those lights. And I think that could be a problem. I know that that would blind me if I was driving on the highway. Yeah, I do think that those need little fans in them. I think it would really help my birds. And I've noticed that the last couple nights, because we've got a couple weeks of excessively hot weather. It's just summertime. But they're not even going in the coop till like 10:30. It's pitch black before they're getting in that coop. Hi, Donna. Pretty girl. Pretty girl, yeah. I know you know your name. Out of all my chickens, I know you know your name. Do you guys have any chickens that you know their name and they're not just running for treats? Oh, okay. The lights will say how far the motion sensor goes. Oh, okay. I was talking to Luke about that. And Luke told me it would probably be a really good idea for me to invest in some. At their house with issues like that, Luke will take care of it. I don't really have an option sometimes on that. So I think I need to invest in them. I'm tired of losing my birds like that. And my cat's still gone. My kitten hasn't come back yet. And I've been worried that the fox got her. You had to call her the other day? Oh, I'm sorry. And the turkeys know their names? Did she get sick? I'm sorry, I won't ask. I'm excited about getting turkeys. I think it's going to be fun. I hope I don't end up with a butthole of a Tom. That's one thing I haven't found, though, anyone that sells sexed turkeys. I did find someone that has a breeding trio of the Royal Palms, but they want $350 for the trio. They're proven, but still $350. That's a lot. That's a lot. Oh, that is unfortunate. You helped her, is what you did. Everybody keeps moving. I wasn't sure about buying adult birds. I thought the same thing. Maybe they might be mean. And I've got those little tiny chickens. And I don't tolerate anything being mean to my micro chickens. When I first got ducks, I bought Bob and two hens. And at the same auction, I bought call ducks. And there were four hens and one drake. And that little drake, he was a nasty, mean little critter. I had to rehome them. I rehomed them to a lady that didn't have any other chickens, ducks, turkeys. She was just starting out, and I did explain to her that he was quite aggressive. He was cute. Oh my gosh, those call ducks are cute. And I'd still like to have some call ducks. Just to have them. Hey, Kirby. How are you? Kirby needs ducks. Kirby, I have tomatoes going on the vine, which is nice. I actually picked a cucumber and two zucchinis today. I'm good, Kirby. It's a good day. Kirby, do you need ducks for eggs or for meat? Or both? You need them for both. It is my first tomato. Just for fun. Oh, having ducks is just, they're fun. I enjoy their language. They're like dirty old men telling jokes outside all day. And then the Indian runners, which I have two hens. They lay up to 300 eggs a year. That's great production for a duck. My ducklings are 6 weeks old. Stephanie was here, Bob, the other day, and she told me that she didn't think it was time to process them, that I should wait till later in the fall. And I reminded her of how hard it was to pluck last year because Luke had stated that they had gone into mold and it made it double hard to pluck. She looked at me and she goes, "You remembered that?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, I remember it now." And she goes, "I do." She goes, "Yeah, you probably should process them." I don't think they're going to get much bigger. Some of them will, but most of those they're ready to process. And see, there goes Bob after them. So some of them are bound to be hens. That or they're drakes, and he's running them off. I have 10 ducklings, and then I lost a hen. So I have 4 hens and 1 drake. I would like to actually get a couple more hens to keep my drake happy, because you can't have your drake going after your chickens. He will kill them. Yeah, no, I think it's time to process them. Exactly. Feed is getting expensive. They're eating a lot out here. This one right here, that's an Indian runner. That tan one, that's an Indian runner. I lost one of my hens to the fox. But Bob, wouldn't you agree that they're they're ready to process? Like this one, this was the first one to hatch. He's ready. I think I will this next coming weekend. They ended up being really pretty though. I didn't have any. Oh, don't panic. To me, they look like the blue Swedish. Yeah, I do it by myself if I can't get somebody to keep me company. Last year, Stephanie, Luke, and we processed together. But this year, I think I'm solo on it. The only one that I like to have somebody help me with the rabbits. I like to have somebody stand on the broomstick for me. It is a lot of work, but it's also food that goes in the freezer. That's healthy, was raised ethically. No, I want to be more cost effective. I want to definitely make sure they're ready. I know that there's a few in there that could use another week or so of growing. I don't want to process them all. I think there's 5 that are ready to process. And you're right, just start. And if I feel that they're not, uh, yeah, I'm gonna pluck because the duck skin is so worth having. A lot of times, if I have a chicken to do, I'll just skin them. But the ducks, I like the skin. So yeah, I'm stuck plucking. Kirby, if you're still there, there's a big goat. Well, I've never agitated them. I've always just let them sit. Am I supposed to spin them around? Does that help? I'll try anything to make that chore easier. It does, and your calf was really pretty. That's why she's named Moo Moo. Do it up and down. Yeah, so that'll drench their feathers more. Okay. There's a part of me that would like to like do a video of it, but then there's that part of me that is reserved about that. Hello, sweetheart. You're really getting big, girl. And on a chore like that, to be honest with you, I wished I could wimp out and hire somebody to do it. But that's just counterproductive. Well, there's a lot of people that would learn, and maybe I could get tips. That's why I want to do it, to get tips on better ways to do it and quicker ways or but then there's that part of me that a lot of people are just going to be horrified. But that's what homesteading's about. When I first started and just had chickens, I would get chickens would get sick, or I had a couple that the roosters broke her leg. Just little things like that. And I asked one of Nick's friends, I'd be like, can you tend to this for me? And he looked at me and he said, I will do this one more time. But if you're going to live like this, you need to learn how to do this. This is not something that you cannot not tend to when you have a homestead. And I procrastinate. I don't ever want to do that. Stuff like that, it seems okay, but it's not a fun day. Okay, that sounds good. I don't like to do chickens. I really don't. I think that that's stinky. The ducks are too, but I think the rabbits are much easier to do. I can do a rabbit in like less than 10 minutes. But for a duck or a chicken, it takes me at least 30 to 45 minutes. It's a long time. Are you going to teach Chick or does she already know? Moo Moo, you keep moving around the yard. Can't you just be still? One thing I learned the first time I put chickens and vegetables in the freezer like that, it was very empowering to know that all of that was raised well and wasn't loaded with all kinds of junk. Polly, whatever I'm doing for your foot sure is helping, isn't it? She's attached, yeah. The first ones I had to do that I was attached to, it was hard. That's why with the rabbits, I don't name anybody. I don't name the babies, and I handle them a little bit, but I don't want to get attached to them. And with the bunnies, I do constantly have to remind myself not to get attached. I can't believe it's already the middle of July almost. Well, tomorrow's the 15th, isn't it? So it's the middle of July. Summer's flying by. Yeah, it's not anything that makes you feel good inside about doing it, but it is part of it. I think there would be something wrong with a person that didn't have any feeling about it. Steph and I had a long conversation about that a couple years ago. Because I do struggle with it. And if anybody enjoyed it, there's really something wrong with them. When I lived in Arkansas, my mom worked at Tyson's Chicken, and she worked in a kill plant. That would that'd be a hard job to have. Chick helps when she dispatched. That's what Stephanie did with me to teach me how to do chickens. She did the first two or three, and then she said, "It's your turn." And I'm going to tell you the truth. The person that helped me the absolute most that day was a 4-year-old. No, Leo wasn't 4. He was 3 when he did that. He looked at me because the chicken was in the cone, and I just was kind of standing there. Leo kind of touched my hand and he said, "You got this, Mila. You can do it." And he said, "Just be strong, take a breath, and you can do it." And he walked away. I was like, "Leo, thank you." He was almost 4 when he said that to me. He gave me so much strength that day that I didn't know I had. You know, Stephanie's older, so she was kind of a little frustrated with, "Just do it. You got to do it. Just do it." Yeah, those Tyson kill plants are bad, Kirby. Yeah, Leo told me that. He's such a strong little kid. He's a good kid. We went to a concert on Saturday and he was dancing. I just was enjoying watching him have so much fun. We got junk food. Walked around and saw everything. He's one of the only kids I know that isn't, "Give me, give me, give me. I want that. I want that." You can go to things and look at stuff and not have to fight with him like that. I think that's nice. My nieces and my nephews are the opposite. They want everything. But our junk food that we got, there was an Amish woman there that had baked goods. We bought molasses cream cookies from her. And then we did get a lemonade. Had to have a lemonade. Jasper, would you like to go in, honey? You want to go in? Is Wells going to go live tonight? I looked the last 2 nights and I didn't see that he was live. Okay, I want to watch him and give him watch hours. Yes, Freedom, what you doing, girl? What'd you see up there? Something scared you, huh? Oh, he's mowing right now? Okay. Do you have trouble containing your turkeys? That's the only drawback that I have inside about getting them is them wanting to roost up in the trees. I'm afraid that the fox will get them. And I wonder, I guess you could cut their wings to prevent them from flying. Oh, it's just yucky hot. Okay. I just, I don't like seeing my birds go to the fox. And a lot of the research I've done states that they really are kind of hard to contain. Do you think I could build an A-frame duck house with pallets? And when I go to Stephanie's, you'll see why I asked that question. They've got a couple A-frame little buildings and they're neat. Their buck, their goat, he's got a new hutch that Luke built last spring through fall sometime. And it's A-frame. And it's got this one part of the side opens up for the summer. That's such a nice, it's a nice goat barn. And then they have one for their ducks, but Luke makes all that stuff out of logs, and I just like the way it looks. Two pallet high fur frame. I've got all those old windows. I'd like to use some of those in their coop too. I think I can do it. Two pallet high A-frame. Hey Bob, I still haven't gotten paid. It's been 7 weeks. I am fighting with that company. I'm about ready to not go back to work until they issue me a paycheck. Last Friday, I wasn't very nice when I called. I wasn't very nice at all. That might be why no one's called me back this week. But they hadn't made any effort to contact me by phone, email, text, nothing anyway. It wasn't nice Friday. I told that lady if she did not get me a paycheck that I would be talking to the labor board and I would hire an attorney. I Googled it, which the state of Wisconsin, after they've been notified that you have not been paid, your employer has 6 days to rectify that situation. They could owe me interest. There's lots of things that could happen. All I want is my paycheck. And I understand that I was over budget and things had to be approved. But they didn't have to wait so long and be asses about it. The reason I didn't get paid last week, which was payday, Friday, the girl that technically hits the OK button for my pay was on vacation. And I told them that that shouldn't matter because they've got all the OKs and all the paperwork is signed. They should have issued me a check. There was no reason for it to be withheld last week. And I feel bad getting crappy like that. I also asked if I could have a new person in charge of my payroll. It's really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. One high would be too hard to get in and clean. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm serious about my pay. No, I'm not happy. And, like I told the lady on the phone, I said, it's all good for you guys. I said, you guys are at home. You work at home. I go out and I take care of another human. I take care of someone that has needs. It's really not right to hold my pay. But it's also money, I'm over budget, and that money comes from Medicaid or Medicare. And it's not my sweet little Lori's fault. The other day she was like, Mila, could I give you $100? And I told her no. I said, absolutely not, Lori, you can't. But I did let her buy me lunch at the lawnmower races. I really appreciated that because I wouldn't have been able to treat myself to that. So now I'm done griping about it. And I had to take Bowser to the vet on Friday. So my bank account looks terrible. Really bad. But Bowser's kidneys are functioning like they should be. So that was good. They were able to cut his nails, draw blood, and clean his ears without muzzling him and without sedating him. I was really happy about that. No muzzle, no sedation. That's progress. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. Your little wings are out. You just look... I'm sorry, guys. Honeybees love catnip? They do? Huh. Luke and Stephanie, that was their new project this year. Well, it was Luke's project. He's doing bees. Honeybees like catnip, huh? I need to find out how to get rid of grasshoppers in my garden. Kirby, are you there? Huh. Has it gone to flower already? I keep cutting mine and giving it to the cats. It'd be nice to have your garden full of honeybees, wouldn't it? I get pollinators, but not the amount of bees that I would like to have in my garden. I'm not allergic to them, so it don't bother me if they're around. Lots of people freak out and panic. The only things I don't like are those paper wasps. Their nests are spectacular, but those things are a downright nuisance. They're aggressive. It's really tall. Is it wild catnip or domesticated catnip? Sometimes I think when we have domestic, and if you don't, would you do it again? I don't know why the stupid thing fades in and out like that. Yes, Stella. How you doing, sweetheart? Yeah, I did cut out. I'm back. So after wild catnip, what did you say? I was talking about when we domesticate, like the catnip I have is domesticated. I don't feel like the pollinators come to the things that we have genetically warped like they do to the wild things. Um, I've just noticed that out with, wild flowers. We have wild bee balm is growing everywhere right now. Some people will call it wild oregano, but it's wild bee balm. The bees are all over that. But I have domesticated bee balm that I planted in the yard, and I don't see bees flocking to it. They come to it, but they don't seem to enjoy it like they do the wild varieties. Oh, okay, because I lost signal. Okay. Stupid signal. Are you going to guard your garden tonight? Hmm. Heritage zucchini, and the bees loved it, huh? I mean, I see them in my garden, but I definitely, there's such a difference when I go over to Stephanie's about the pollinators that are in her garden versus mine. And she does have quite a bit of things growing that we consider weeds and would pull out that she has there on purpose. Her garden has a whole bunch of stinging nettles in it. I'm like, why do you have that in your garden, Stephanie? Stinging nettles. And she looked at me and she goes, that's a superfood. She said, that is better than spinach. And then she goes to tell me, you have to get it when the shoots are young, or you can cause yourself to have kidney stones. But then she's telling me about all the benefits of it. And I just looked at her and I said, we have lost so much knowledge about things like that. That just, 200 years ago, 150 years ago, people had to have that knowledge. Stinging nettles. I would have never thought to eat stinging that. You don't like them? No, they're a pain in the butt when they're in your yard. I had no idea that they were like spinach and just a superfood, like she was explaining. And then she shows me all the bags of it she has in her freezer so she can cook this winter. I'm like, oh, okay. I need to learn more, Steph. Don't eat. She explained it to me. You got to eat it when it's young. If you wait till it gets older, you can make yourself have kidney stones. And you get kidney stones because I think it's actually so rich in vitamins that your body doesn't know what to do with it. She's actually incorporated it in some of her breads. I didn't know you could eat them either. I'm kind of excited to get to show you guys Stephanie's and Luke's place. It's on such a different scale. And she was super excited that I actually wanted to. She was like, oh, yes, if I can teach somebody and somebody can teach me. She loves to learn. Made it with tea. Was it good or was it kind of bitter? Knowledge is the key. And you don't ever get too old to not want to learn. I love to learn and apply it. I learn a lot of useless stuff, but I like to learn this stuff that's you can apply to things. Bitter, but honey made it good. Are you going to do bees again, Bob? I could just see how beneficial they could be to a homestead. They throw so much junk out up there at us. I hate when you retain the unuseful stuff and can't remember The useful stuff. Luke has been really excited this year about that project. He's like been like a little kid talking about it. I think the last big project Luke did was 2 years ago, and that was that solar dehydrator. Absolutely, I would love some. It grows all over around here. Stephanie purposely has it in her garden. It does. It's never been in my yard. I would love to have some in my yard. Make cough syrup. People smoke the leaves too, and I guess smoking the leaves will even detoxify your lungs. It's a very useful plant. The other day I was thinking about that. I was like, pretty soon it's going to be seed collecting time. The summers go by so fast. That festival that we just had, there were so many people. Well, I'm not going to go, it's hot. I'm not going to go, it's hot. Well, you complain all year that it's cold and you don't do anything then. You got to get out and do things if it's hot or cold. Or you just have memories of TV shows or a game you played on the phone. It was great to see Leo out Saturday night. It was hot, he was sweaty, but he was giving it his all dancing. You pull it out of your garden? So it grows really a lot there, huh? I've seen some on the side of the road that I've thought, should I just go and dig that up? Me and Brenda have done that. Gone to people's abandoned houses and stuff and gotten flowers. I told her, I said, one day we're going to get arrested for this and we're going to be in the paper for stealing flowers. But we got scared because we went to a house that we thought was abandoned and there was people living there. We got run off in a nice, not so nice way. But they had every right. We were on their property digging up their flowers. Brenda talks about that. She still gets kind of shaky. I'm like, it happened a long time ago, Brenda. Don't worry about it. That little old man was not happy with us digging up his wife's flowers. I had no idea anybody lived there. We drove past that house. I thought it was empty. Oh, chick, I bet. Weeping willows are great. They cool the property down and they're just a beautiful tree. That's actually my favorite tree, is a weeping willow. And then I'd say a big old pecan tree would be next. Yeah, weeping willow, that's my absolute favorite tree. They grow relatively quick too. I don't know if those are a native tree or if those are like an ornamental tree that people have brought. Does anyone know? Any fruit tree when they're in blossom is beautiful, I think. I'd like to have a cherry tree and a couple more apple trees. I wished I could have like a peach tree and an avocado tree, but they wouldn't live in my zone. Yeah, I don't know, Chick. We need to find that out. Because I've lived all over this country and I've traveled all over this country and I see weeping willows everywhere. But that doesn't mean that they're not a native tree. You have no luck with fruit trees? I planted one a couple years ago and it died. But the one that Luke put in my garden, it seems to be doing fine. And Luke and Stephanie's place, they've been there 7 or is it 8 years? I need to ask them exactly. I think it's 7 years they've been there. And their fruit trees are beautiful and they are getting fruit off of all of them. They have pear and apple. I've always heard that about them too. And you don't want to put them like by your septic tanks or anything. Plastic around the roots? I will. Are you putting cages around your trees so mice can't eat them in the winter? I have to do that to my apple tree and I'm actually going to have Luke come and help me because I think I need Luke's assistance. He's got a neat little system that he uses utility mesh. What you were talking about for the chicken windows. He uses that to prevent mice from getting into his saplings. Luke paints his tree. He's painted them white. And it's a for bugs and for I think the sun so the sun doesn't scorch them. I mean, here's my thing. Why would you want to wrap the roots in plastic? That plastic would biodegrade and go up into your tree and then, could be in your fruit and stuff. But it could, I mean, obviously she has good luck. I will do a video of his cages. I have a lot of things to do videos of over at their place. When I go over there and hang out and walk through their garden and stuff, I think about mine and I'm like, geez, mine looks like Toyland compared to y'all's. She's a very supportive person, though. She always tells me I have a beautiful garden and I'm doing very well. It's interesting how other people have different ideas that they feel are important about something, and it actually works for them. No, I wouldn't use old strawberries or old strawberries, old tires to put any of my food in. I have old tires and I thought about putting my sunflowers in there. And then I decided against that because I want to use the sunflowers for feed for my animals. So I thought that was a bad idea. Even that little plastic kid pool, I won't grow food in that. And the pallets that I use, I make sure that they're not treated. Exactly. Create your own space that you enjoy, that makes you feel good, and that you know you've done something. I don't like being not productive. But then there's a part of me, like my garden now, it's at a point where I can just sit there and enjoy it. There's a lot of work out there. And it's nice just to sit back and eat dinner at the picnic table and look at my pretty flowers. My poor chickens are so hot. I do too. I like to see people get creative with things. So many people just go and buy new things all the time. I like to hunt the yard sales for things I can put in my yard and stuff that are just somebody else's junk, but a treasure to me. I'm going to try to build my own duck house, chick. And I'm going to use recycled windows and pallets to do it. I have faith that I have faith I can do it. And I'm not going to ask anybody to help me. I'm going to just do it myself. I have a little sketch that I made on how I'd like it to be. All my fencing and stuff I've done myself, but I've had help with putting my barn together, and I did the rabbits all by myself. I had a little bit of help up front with the chickens. But as a woman, I'd like to see lots of young women start doing things and realizing that they can. When I was younger, my role was a little bit different. Can you hand me that screwdriver, honey? Yeah, I can hand you that. But now I want things, and I have to do them myself. I might do it a little bit slower and a little more awkward than a guy would do it, but I still get it done. Thank you. Thank you very much. For instance, I was looking at Wells, watching his live, and I was like, look how straight his pallet fence is. Mine is not like that. It's all warped and wobbly. I had to ask him, how did you get that thing so straight? And I don't really care that it's all wobbly and stuff. That doesn't bother me. It does my neighbor lady. Especially the fence that faces her. She's told me a couple of times, when are you going to tear that down and put something else there? It does give it character. And during the day, I don't really notice it, but at night when I come out and the solar lights are on, that's when I notice it because they're not straight. But I look back and I say, I did that, and my goats are safe, and I did that, and my dogs are safe. Is it crooked? Yeah, mine on the, especially the neighbor side, it really is. This is crooked. I don't care though. It don't bother me. They're more city people. A couple weeks ago, I went over there. I was looking for my cat. And I went over there and I brought her some eggs and I was talking to her. And she was like, what are all, because she could see the ducks and stuff. What are all them ducks for? That's a lot of ducks. I said, well, Sandy, they're food. And she just looked at me. She saw the goats and she was like, well, why did you have a baby? I said, so I could get milk. And she looked at me and she said, well, why don't you just buy that stuff at the store? She said, you know, we're blessed with grocery stores and Walmart. It I just looked at her and I said, because I would rather do things this way, Sandy. And she looked at me and she says, well, I know you work hard over there. I see you. And she says, kudos to you on that. She said, but we do have grocery stores, Mila. It's like, oh, okay, Sandy. Yeah. My whole family that I'm getting ready to go see in Colorado, my nieces and nephews, they have no idea where their food comes from. They really don't. I don't go into a lot of detail with them, though, because my sister's not that way, but my brother is afraid. Even though his girl fishes and stuff, he's afraid that she might not like me because she thinks I hurt animals. And children do get stuck on one particular thing that they've heard. So a lot of this I leave out for them. If they lived around me, that'd be different. But I do just visit them. I wish they'd come here and stay here. I think the kids would have a lot of fun. Hi. I know, Peggy. I'm sorry, honey. I know it's hot, girl. My egg production's been down quite a bit, and I know it's because it's hot. That's okay. I don't ask them to pay rent when it's this hot. They're raising babies and just trying to survive themselves. That's sad. Huh, Peggy? I've been treating all my birds. Not all of them had it, but some of them had the scaly mites on their legs, and her legs are actually looking better. They look bad to me, but they are looking better. It seems like the scales are falling off, though. Did you find something for your ladies, Whitey? Oh, Peggy. Do you guys have good luck selling your eggs? Or do you sell your eggs? That's more of the question. Do you sell eggs? Just a family so far. I've got those people uptown that I sell eggs to, and it's actually going pretty well. I noticed around town that there are a few people that have eggs, and they're asking $6 a dozen, and they're selling their eggs. I asked $2 for my chickens and $3 for my ducks. I can't believe they're selling their eggs out at $6 a dozen. And they don't even have like colored eggs. They just have standard brown eggs. I actually found out about something that could really get me in trouble with chickens. Because I'm not opposed to having birds that don't lay or lay very few. There's a production chicken farm for eggs. And after the birds are 16 months old, they start selling them. And they're the hens that have been kept in cages. I'd love to go adopt some, just so they could have a normal life for the rest of their lives. Because as we all know, chickens can live quite a long time. I really think I'd like to do that. You get $5? Wow. Dong Tao toe chicken? No. $8? Wow. Everybody around here has chickens. Even people in town have chickens. That's why I feel like I can't get rid of them. The people that are selling them for $6, they're closer to town, and there's a lot of churches going out that way, so I bet they get a lot of the church traffic. But I can't believe they get that much for them. My next year goal is to have a produce stand out in the front. I'd love to sell tomato plants, zucchini plants, vegetable plants, some house plants, eggs. Okay. Everything all right? That's why I want to figure out how to heat my greenhouse so I could do that. I know I'm not going to get rich off of it, but I would like to try that endeavor and see how it goes. Stephanie told me that she would be willing to put like baked bread and stuff, and I bake bread, so I could do that too. But I was more interested in putting out vegetable plants. And then, come fall, some vegetables if I had any to spare. But you always have spare zucchini and summer squash. It's becoming more and more popular, those little farm stands. I stop at them. And if I stop at one, I always buy something. People always have such nice things to offer. A couple little stands that I go to, the ladies make dish towels and stuff and put out there for sale. I like stuff like that. You okay, Donna? I probably ought to download that YouTube Studio, huh? I had forgotten about that. That's what told me all my watch hours and stuff. But then there's that part of me that doesn't want to do it because I'm not worried about monetization. I was really kind of pushed into thinking that that was just so wonderful. Oh, that's nice. Pay whatever you can for veggies and berries. Oh, that's nice. That's community helping community. It's the way it should be. Oh, he is? Awesome. Do you know what time? So I can look out for him? That's one thing that since I've gotten my new phone, I am not getting notifications for anybody. And I have gone in with certain people and hit the bell icon on all, so I should be getting notifications. Moo Moo is not just nibbling on things, she's downright eating now. I think it's too early to try to wing her though. And if I did it now, Will would have to milk while I'm gone. Oh, you think it's to get companionship as well? That's kind of neat though. It really is. Good evening, Patel. How are you? Or good morning to you. Ah, my notifications it could be. I will look when I get done with this. How I'm doing good. You're starting your day awful early. Hi, Susie. All right, I will stay tuned for that. Patel, how are things going on your side of the world? Is your buffalo doing good? Now I'm gonna go buy my mom. I know you didn't kick her down, Maybelline, but it kind of looked like you did. So how often, Uncle Bob, do you stop at that place and get all your vegetables and stuff? Here come the ducks. See, when I look out there, I actually have to look twice. Is that an adult or is that a baby? Like this one right here? I just had to double take to see if it was a baby or an adult. Really? You can go that? That's a goal, not to have to go to town that often. I have to go with my client, and I've worked with her for years, so I'm just accustomed to going once a week. Really? Like every 3 months? Wow. That'd be nice. But then when you go, do you have to spend like $8,000? Now, with the way you hunt, do you have to buy much meat? That's actually not too bad for about 3 months worth of food. That one right there. If it's a hen, I kind of would like to keep it. I think it's awful pretty. But then again, I don't really want Bob breeding his own Ken. You buy a lot of chicken. Oh, you. I'm sorry, but you need to change that. And just raise them. But I buy chicken too. You're butchering soon. Gotta be done here. Wished we were neighbors. We could just do it together. Are you gonna do your turkeys or are you gonna keep them guys your pets? Well, every time I move it, then they all move. And see, I want to get away from butchering chickens because I have the rabbits. They really produce a lot of meat in a year. And there's such a difference between store-bought chicken and what you raise. One lady I was chatting with that is local that does turkeys, she said that hers only become aggressive when they're broody and when they have a nest. But after their chicks hatch, they're not aggressive. Um, being meat turkeys, are their lifespans a little shorter? Because meat chickens are, because they grow so fast. I think I asked you that once though. Oh, that's pretty big. One reason I'd like to have like my ducks, I have my breeding ducks, because then they can be my pets. And the other ones I can not make them pets and give them names. Once they're named, that's it. Around 2, that's not very long because of heart problems, huh? Because I do enjoy the animals and I do like naming things and being tender and loving things. But then I need things that are production. They're happy right now over there. Polly, it's nice to see you not limping. Y'all, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this. It's about chore time. It's after 6. So I'd like to get everybody fed and get everybody fresh water again. Because it, like I said, it's hot and yucky. So everybody be safe and stay kind. And thank you for dropping by. I'll see you guys later.